And then my last rep, I just failed. Just got stuck. Fingers crossed. Come back to me, bench. Come back, please. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my Provincials prep series. So we are another week closer to Provincials. We are 7 weeks out now, so just over a month and a half. And this week's training was good and bad. And I don't want to dwell on the bad. I do think that there is a lot that I can learn from it. So let me take you through this week and I will let you know where we're going from here. So as far as squats went this week, so I was doing high bar variations as my raw squats this week. And for my equipped squats, I actually worked up to a double, which I believe is a PR double, so yay! I don't remember what I had done last training cycle, but I'm pretty sure it's a PR. I actually had Jason wrap my knees for the last few sets, and it made a huge difference. So I've only ever wrapped my own knees, and I never really got much out of my knee wraps. I always felt that at the bottom of my squats in equipment, I would get just as much out of my knee wraps as I would knee sleeves. But when Jason wrapped them, and he wasn't wrapping them super tight, but just, it was still tighter than I had ever wrapped them, just having someone else, in a better position to wrap rather than me bent over trying to wrap my knees, right? So that was super useful. And the bottom of the squat to actually have like a pop. So hopefully I can continue training with Jason. Hopefully he is still willing to wrap my knees. I feel bad always asking him to do things for me with training, put my shirt on and then now wrapping my knees. And sometimes if he's around, he helps me into my deadlift suit because the sleeves are smaller than my squat suit for sure, and it's a little claustrophobic and difficult for me to get them on myself, but I'm very, very grateful for all of his help. So that was squats. Then as far as deadlifts go, deadlifts went really, really well. I'm still working on positioning that I mentioned last week, like locking my knees just a little bit before pushing my hips through. So I think those actually went really well on pause deadlifts, and Natalie seemed happy with those as well. But my equipped deadlifts, I thought in my brain it felt like I was sort of doing it, but while watching the videos, I wasn't doing it very well, or definitely it was not noticeable in those equipped deadlifts. And then right before I got up to do my last set, my last double in equipment, for whatever reason, I thought to myself, oh, you know what? This is a PR. I've never done this weight for a double before. And I tried not to think that. I tried to get that thought out of my head before I lifted, but it just snuck in right when I was setting up, so it was super annoying, and I felt those would have moved better had I not had that thought. But it's as much a mental game as a physical game, so I have to learn how to control those thoughts and not let them distract me, and if possible, not let them in the first place, because that is the last place I need to be thinking those kind of thoughts. That's not helpful. It's not constructive in any way. So then, bench press. My favorite. But they didn't go quite according to plan this week. So my raw bench actually went really, really well. So on Tuesday, I worked up to a single at RPE 8, I think. And then I did a whole bunch of back down sets, like 5 back down sets, just singles. And my top weight that I worked up to was 215 pounds. So that is more than I've ever lifted in competition. I've lifted it a handful of times, usually in the gym here in Athabasca. I don't think I've lifted it at home on the Rogue bar and the Rogue calibrated plates. So it moved really, really well. So I'm very happy with that, with how those moved. And then I did a whole bunch of back down singles at 205, and those were easy peasy. So that's all excellent. That's all very, very good. But then equipped bench on Saturday. So I'm still working in my Super Katana, my newer shirt. So I have a training shirt, which is my regular katana, my blue shirt, and then I have what I had hoped would be my competition shirt, which is a black Super Katana. And my blue shirt I've had for a long, long time. I wore it to Worlds last year. It's been taken in a couple times, and my black shirt is relatively new. I trained in it for a few weeks at the beginning of the year, and then reintroduced it last week and then this week again. So then this week, I took the sleeves in just a little bit, and this is the first time I've done it by myself. So I hand sewed it, and I think I was probably too conservative on taking the sleeves in, because when I put the shirt on, it was definitely tighter, but still not very tight. So definitely nowhere near as tight as my blue shirt in terms of the sleeves. But I benched, and my warm-ups for equipped bench went okay. I worked up to a triple at 94 kilograms, which if you have followed my channel, that was actually my competition bench in September of 2021. So that's good, I tripled it. And the last rep was slower than I would have hoped, but the first rep was really, really quick and it still felt really good. So I wasn't too upset about that, but once we got into the shirt, just nothing was popping. So we usually work with boards first. So we work from a 2 board to 1 board to half board to a touch. And once I got to the touches, everything was slow and it felt like work. I felt like, I mean, obviously the shirt is helping. These weights are way higher than anything I've ever lifted raw and anything I will be able to lift raw for quite some time. But anyway, it felt like I was doing most of the work myself. It felt like the shirt was not giving me that spring out of the bottom. So we worked up to 130, I believe, and then 135, I failed it twice. So the first one I actually didn't fail. I was pressing it and then Jason grabbed it right near the top, right at the easy part, because he didn't want me to waste a lot of energy pressing that rep. So I don't really consider that a miss, but it certainly wasn't moving like any of the reps were the last couple weeks in the blue shirt. And then my last rep, I just failed. Just got stuck. And this is 7.5 kilos less than what I was pressing a couple weeks ago. So that was a little bit distressing and very, very sad. Especially since bench has been going so well lately. I mean, generally my bench progress is I'll make a big jump and then plateau, maybe go down a bit and then stagnate and then go up again. So that is generally my pattern, but I am not ready for this upward trajectory to end just yet. So I talked to Natalie about it. We are going back to the blue shirt to see if I can get a little more out of that. And if so, if it really is just the shirt fits better, then we're sticking with blue for the rest of the training cycle into Provincials. So Old Faithful, Old Blue, tried and true. So another possible reason that Equip Bench did not move as well as it has in previous weeks is that my body weight is down, and that's not on purpose. I just, for whatever reason, my appetite has not been super high and I have been having a hard time hitting my macros. So my weight has gone down. I'm probably down about 2 pounds, 3 pounds, which is not ideal leading into a meet when I have so much room still in my weight class. So as much as I'm not sure if I'm going to stay at 63 forever, and I would probably like to have the option of dropping down to 57 at some point in the future, there's definitely no need for me to drop down right now. There's no need for me to be 59 kilos when my next meet as a 57 was probably not until next year. So that is another thing I'm gonna work on this coming week. So goals for this coming week, as I just mentioned, food. I need to eat. I need to get my body weight back to at least up to where it was a couple weeks ago when things are moving and grooving, and we'll see from there. If the weights are still problematic at that point, then we will reassess and figure out what we can do to fix it. But like I said, squats and deadlifts went really, really well. And there's also the possibility that it was just an off week for Equip Bench. So we don't know. We're gonna try all the things and hopefully next week will be better. So fingers crossed. Come back to me, bench. Come back, please. So anyway, goals for this coming week. For squats, if I can get Jason to wrap my knees, that would be fantastic. And I will continue training with his wrap just so I can get used to the movement and hopefully lift some heavier weights. At the meet, he should be able to wrap them for me, so I definitely want to practice like I play. And then for deadlifts, as I mentioned, I am still working on the timing of locking my knees and then hips through and not trying to do it all at once. So definitely working on that as far as deadlifts go. And then for bench, for Equip Bench, we are going back to Old Blue. We are just gonna try to have a better day, make sure that my food and nutrition are on point, get that body weight up just a little bit. So just hitting all my macros and being really, really diligent about all aspects of my recovery and my training. One other thing I did want to mention before I forget is I told you last time that I had a shoulder injury, just some impingement in my rotator cuff. So I went to chiropractor again last week and also my physiotherapist. And the physiotherapist did some acupuncture. So, okay, side note. People told me that acupuncture does not hurt. It kind of hurts a little bit. Like once he poked the needle in and like twisted it like that isn't very comfortable. So people told me that they couldn't feel anything, but I could definitely feel something. So it was uncomfortable, but darn it, it worked. So the next day it was like, couldn't feel a thing. It was amazing. So there you go. So I'm going back to physio this week. So we're gonna keep working on the shoulder. It was feeling really great. And then at the end of the week, it started kind of bothering me again. So nothing severe, nothing serious, but I just really want to keep on top of that and prevent it from turning into something serious. And I think I'm on a treatment plan that is going to address that. I also was able to low bar squat my equipped squats this week. So that was really, really exciting. It feels so much better just in terms of balance, and weight distribution just feels a lot more comfortable in a low bar position. And surprisingly, so my warm-ups felt a little uncomfortable getting into that position again because it's been a little while since I've done that. But by the time I got into my equipment and was working up to my top doubles, I didn't feel it at all. It felt back to normal. And the next day, surprisingly, my shoulder was not re-aggravated. So that's very, very good news. So going forward, I am still going to be doing my high bar squats, at least for the next week. And then my equipped squats, I'm going to keep doing them low bar, and hopefully the shoulder holds up, and then we should be good to go. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more. And I will see you all next week. Bye!